Hi Year 12s. In the final exam, you may be asked to calculate the average rate of change and then the instantaneous rate of change. So it is important to know both the difference between the two of these and also how to calculate each of them. In this video, we're going to look at a 2014 exam question as our example. The average rate of change between 2 points is the slope of the line separating the 2 points. So the change in y over the change in x for just that range. The instantaneous rate of change is the change in that particular moment or the gradient at that point. This is the value of the derivative at a particular point. The key difference between the two is that the average rate of change is over a range, while the instantaneous rate of change is applied at a particular point. Let's look at an example from exam 2 of 2014. For part 1 of this question, we are told to calculate the average rate of change over the interval 2/3 to 3 to 2 decimal places. As we are doing average rate of change, we want to be working over a range, and we have been given that range in the question. So we know we want to work out the gradient of the slope between these 2 points, which will be the rise over the run. So we get the equation average rate of change equals C3 minus C2 over 3 all over 3 minus 2 over 3. With working, this gives us negative 0.23 milligrams per litre per hour. Remember to include the negative and the units. Part 2 of the question requires us to take the average rate of change calculated in the first part and work out when the instantaneous rate of change is equal to the average rate of change. As we are now dealing with the instantaneous rate of change, we need to calculate the derivative. Here, we have two different functions multiplied together, so we need to use the product rule. The first function is 5 over 2t, which we will call u. The second function is e to the negative 3 over 2t, which we will call v. So we calculate du dx as 5 over 2, and then calculate dv dx, which is negative 3 over 2 times e to the negative 3 over 2t. If any of these steps don't make sense, feel free to have a look over some of our earlier videos on differentiation or the product rule, or any of our wiki pages on the same thing. Then we use the product rule formula and sub in our calculated values, which after working gives us c dash t equals 5 over 2 e to the negative 3 over 2 times negative 3 over 2t plus 1. We know that the instantaneous range must equal the previously calculated average rate of change. Therefore, we let this equal negative 0.227. This is too complex to be solved by hand and should be done using your calculator to get t equals 0.9 to 2.12. You may get a slightly different answer depending on how many decimal places you used to calculate the average rate of change. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you next time.